What if I told you that one man, standing barely 6'2", dismantled an entire playoff team? Not with speed, not with strength, but with control. What if I told you that every time the game tightened, every time the pressure peaked, it was him, Jalen Brunson, who answered with cold-blooded precision? This wasn't just about highlights or box scores. This was surgical. And over 6 games, the Detroit Pistons were picked apart, possession by possession, until there was nothing left to give. What Jalen Brunson did wasn't flashy. It was calculated destruction. And by the time it was over, the only question left was how to set up a war of inches. The series didn't open with fireworks, it opened with tension. Right from game one, you could feel it. Every possession was a battle, every drive a collision. The Knicks and Pistons weren't just fighting to win, they were fighting to impose their style. For Detroit, that meant chaos, pushing pace, rotating bodies, and constantly switching defenders to throw New York off rhythm. But for the Knicks, especially Brunson, it meant one thing: control. From the opening minutes, it was clear that Detroit was going to live and die by their defensive aggression. They started blitzing screens, crashing passing lanes, and sending help early. But Brunson didn't panic. He absorbed it, he processed it, and most importantly, he waited. It wasn't until the fourth quarter of Game 1 that he struck. With New York trailing by 6 and 9 minutes left, Brunson checked in, and what followed was the moment everything changed. His first touch? Classic Brunson. He hunted Tobias Harris on a switch, attacked off the dribble, and dropped in a floater like it was a layup line. A minute later, he caught Harris out of position again, forced the drive, absorbed contact, and converted through the foul. It wasn't just scoring, it was message sending. And while Detroit tried to respond, their offense completely collapsed. Possession after possession ended in broken sets, contested shots, or worse, turnovers. The Knicks feasted on the other end, going on a 21-0 run. Yes, 21 straight points without an answer. And guess who orchestrated nearly all of it? Brunson. Screen after screen, isolation after isolation, he kept forcing mismatches, pulling defenders into uncomfortable space, and reading every rotation like a veteran quarterback dissecting a zone. It didn't matter who Detroit had on the floor. Go big? Brunson hunted the switch. Go small? He bullied the matchup. Go zone? He slowed the pace to a crawl and surgically cut through the seams. And by the time the clock hit 0, New York had stolen Game 1 by sheer will. Game 2, though it wasn't that simple. This time, Detroit came prepared. They built a wall, dared Brunson to beat them from the perimeter, and loaded up the paint so heavily you'd think it was under construction. Every drive he attempted came with 2 defenders. Every kick-out led to an open look. But the problem? Nobody could hit the shots. Bridges, OG, Hart, they were all cold. And the Pistons knew it. That's when they made their boldest adjustment yet. They put Jalen Duren on Josh Hart, just so Duren could ignore him completely and act as a free safety. It was a statement. We're not scared of your shooters, we're terrified of your point guard. Still, Brunson didn't fold. He played the entire fourth quarter again. He started attacking from the mid-range, pulling up before help could collapse. He forced switches, baited fouls, and kept them just within reach. With 5 minutes left, he drew Thompson's 6th foul, knocking out Detroit's best on-ball defender. Suddenly the floor opened up. But once again the Knicks missed shot after shot. Wide open looks. Same result. And with the game tied at 94, Schroeder hit a brutal pull-up jumper to kill New York's momentum. Brunson tried to match it. He got the switch, got the look, and it rimmed out. One more stop, one more shot. Bridges had a clean look from deep to tie and he bricked it. Just like that, the Pistons held on. One missed three-pointer away from going down 0-2. Instead, it was 1-1. But by now, the pattern was clear. If it came down to the fourth quarter and if Brunson was on the floor, Detroit had a problem. By Game 3, the tone of the series had shifted. Brunson had already planted the seed of fear in Detroit's defense. Every time he touched the ball in the fourth quarter, you could feel the tension rise. And this time, the Knicks weren't chasing. They were ahead barely. Brunson checked in with just a 4-point cushion and one goal: protect the lead. Detroit came with the same game plan switch: double, rotate, but Brunson had adjusted. On his first fourth quarter touch, he didn't even wait for the defense to react. He attacked the help side, split the coverage, and rose for that silky floater right down the lane. It looked effortless, like clockwork. But what came next showed just how much smarter New York had become. See, every time Detroit shaded help to Brunson's strong side, he used it against them. He baited the double, then kicked out early, and this time, finally, the shot started to fall. Bridges knocked one down, then OG found a rhythm. Suddenly, those same looks that clanked off the rim in Game 2 were splashing through the net. Brunson didn't have to take every shot, he just had to control the game. But don't get it twisted. When the Pistons dared him to go one-on-one, he did it without blinking. When they went under the screen, he pulled up. When they doubled late, he spun out. Every read, every counter, it was elite, like a seasoned chess player who had already seen the end game. And that was the problem for Detroit. They had no answer. Even when they tried to hide Duren on Hart again, Brunson made them pay.
The fans here and around the country